I want to talk about your company. You're a workflow automation company. Basically, it's software where a certain job is done based on a certain set of conditions. You can basically tell the software to do this or that if something else happens. You say you can embed AI into this. Now, kind of explain that, because I think a lot of us think that AI is doing what your software is doing.
Sure. Yeah, I think the nice thing about software like NNN is it allows to combine humans, AI, and code. Means AI is not a simple solution for literally everything. What you want is to kind of use AI when it makes sense and have still this kind of code when you need it and the human in the loop to just make sure everything is working very well. And you need a system like NNN that allows you to combine all of the systems. And especially it's important if you want to kind of deploy those things in production use cases for large organizations like something like a Vodafone or like a SEAT or like a SoftBank and many others.
Okay. You're also basically open, like an open source model where anybody can use any type of AI model they like to, whether it be OpenAI, Gemini, et cetera. So when we're talking about this openness, why is that an advantage to a company? Because I would imagine a lot of companies are placing their bets very similar to whether you use Microsoft Word or you're a company that use Apple phones or Samsung phones. I would think that most companies want to keep it pretty consistent across the board.
Sure. First, to clarify, we are not open source. We are something very similarly. All the code is available. You can use it for free, commercially and privately. But you can commercialize our code. That's why we have a slightly different model. But means everything is there, and you can do whatever you want with it. What's the nice advantage you have there is that you want to have this you want to be independent of the large players. You really want to make sure that your data is hosted on your own servers. You want to make sure you're not logged into any kind of LLM or any kind of database or anything like that. So you want to have this independent layer that connects to all of your systems, no matter where your data is stored.
All right, Jan, we're just talking about your latest funding round. We're going to show that screen one more time. One of your backers is N Ventures. That's the venture capital arm of Nvidia. So I do have to ask you, we're talking a lot about, circular funding, if you will, on Wall Street. So they funded your company. Do you also buy Nvidia chips? And are there restrictions on how you spend the money that they invested in your company? Are you allowed to spend it on Nvidia chips?
We could spend it there, but honestly, we don't buy any chips. I think we are a very different AI company, most other ones out there. Again, this comes back to this independent part. We are not logged into any LLM, so are not our customers. Means we don't have to buy chips. We don't have to train our own models. We ourselves and our customers can whatever model they want to use, and they can host it whatever they want. So they can use an OpenAI model today. They can use one from Google or another vendor out there tomorrow. And that's the nice thing, which keeps this independent piece, which is very important. It has always been very important, but especially, I think, in this kind of AI race right now.
All right, Jan, today, right now, what's the use case for your software? Where do you see it making the biggest impact? Does this reduce the need for entry-level workers? Does it reduce the need for middle management? What does it really do today?
Sure, I can give you one example, and then I can maybe expand a little bit. For example, I think it's maybe hard to understand what does the product like NNN really do. To give a specific example, it could be in support. A new support email arrives, NNN picks that email up, it scans the content, checks what's actually happening in there, then it checks all of your data sources, I don't know, Senders, Notion, whatever you have. It can automatically answer the ticket. And depending on how the priority or the risk of the ticket, it can send the ticket automatically and kind of answer it, or I can have a human in the loop which checks the content first and then presses a button and then sends it out. And that is one use case, but people use it for the most complex things. You could also use it as a SOAR, like a security automation tool, for example, the Ministry of Defense has used it around the world as well, and like Vodafone, for example.